long-running political tension in Rivers State took yet another twist this past week with the man at the center of it all. Minister of Federal Capital Territory Odili and Wike, referring to one of his predecessors as Rivers State Governor, Dr. Peter Odili, as being politically dead. The minister was responding to comments made by Odili, who said that the governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara, had prevented Wike from turning Rivers State into his private estate. Wike had said Odili that as an elder statesman, he should desist from being a sycophant all the time.
Let me tell you, in 2007, when he left power, he couldn't hear power because Amechi was the governor then. He was gone. He was gone. Like somebody said there, God will use somebody to bring out somebody. When I came in as governor in 2015, I won't use the word they resurrected, but I brought him back to life.
Well, serious shots fired there, and for the position of concerned elders of Rivers State on the verbal war between the two former governors, as well as how it's impacting development in Rivers State, we're now being joined by a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Lee Maeba. Good afternoon, Senator. Many thanks for joining us here on Newsday.
Thank you very much, my sister.
Of course. So let's begin. Now, beyond personal disagreements, what fundamental political principles do you think are at stake in this conflict between Odili and Wike?
I don't think there is any conflict between Odili and Wike, because for there to be a conflict, two people must be involved in a conflict. Odili is not involved in any conflict with Wike. It's insulting and humiliating to even mention that Sir Dr. Peter Odili is in conflict with Wike, because I mean, this is like it's not a comparable statement. One, there is no reason for a dispute between Wike and Odili. I'm sure you have hardly heard Odili speak in the public since he left office. You have hardly seen Odili meddling into any administration in the state since he left office. Odili have respected himself, so to that context, there is not conflict between Wike and Odili.
All right, Senator, but some would say that we've seen a more active former governor, Peter Odili, in recent times, more than in time past. So probably when Wike is saying that he brought him out of political obscurity, might not be exactly far-fetched.
Now, let me just take you back memory lane. In 1998, was among the politicians that came up to join Odili to form PDP. He sent for me, and I joined him. Wike wasn't there. He wasn't at that level at that time, so he couldn't participate in anything we were doing. He was, I think, a PA to John Mbata, who later became senator from the process. So, taking that process back then, I know by 1999 or 2000, Wike became a local government chairman. Also, with Odili as governor. And so, he said he took the matter to the Supreme Court, all those things, but that's perfect. Odili was governor, so he accepted him as local government chairman. He served twice. Now, progressing from that trajectory, Odili left office in 2007 and brought in Governor Omeya, and then subsequently Governor Amechi, and then all of them served. Odili never intervened or interfere in any of their administration. All those people are alive. Even when Wike came in, what made Odili would have been a little more involved in Wike is that, yes, Odili was very instrumental to bringing Wike as governor. You can see when the tension was high, when former First Lady, Patient Jonathan, she insisted she want to put, because in Nigeria they say they put, because I don't know where the vote of the people matters, want to put Wike as governor. She have to come down to Port Harcourt, bring Wike and hand over to Odili and ask Odili, please, own this process, let's produce this young man as governor. And that is how Odili get involved in that. But as per putting this or asking him to do this, Odili never got involved in all that. And now he is out of office. He brought a man, Sim, to be governor. And when he brought Sim to be governor, Odili accepted it. Odili does not need to argue with him, put this man or not put him. Odili is a statesman. When Sim became governor, 3 months after, Wike have approached Odili that Sim should be impeached, that he's not doing what he wants him to do, or what they agree. Odili said this. He told us. Now he told him, look, don't go on the path of impeachment. The path of impeachment will cause the state so much trouble. Any issue you have with the governor, try and resolve it with the governor. And he said he was going to get back to him on that. And that's all he went. And then the impeachment saga, everything started rolling. And so what I could call the former governor is the adage of a child who refused to listen to his father, stopping him from going close to the hot dust. You know, when we finish frying gari in those days, the dust is still very hot and very attractive because it's red. The small child wants to go and have a feel of that red dust. And the father will be stopping him, and the child will be running. So finally, the father removed his eyes, and the child find himself in the hot dust being burnt. And so this is the story. If there was no issue of trying, if you have listened to the advice of not going the path of impeaching the governor after just about 3 months in office, all these things will not. That was when Odili now said, look, you brought this man, we have accepted him. You have to stand on the part of the state and not the part of any individual. Right, so Odili now, peace come with the governor, mobilize all of us to support the governor, and that is why we are supporting the governor. So the only crime Odili has committed is that he's supporting the governor who he believes is doing well for the people of Rivers State.
All right, Senator, thank you for expanding on that, giving us highlights of those conversations. Of course, at the beginning of this interview, you did say that there's no conflict between, that Odili is not in conflict with Wike in any way. But I'd like to ask for your opinion on how the state can maintain focus on governance, especially since it's the start of a new year, and development amid these public exchanges. Let's call it an exchange, not a conflict.
Now, that is where we, the elders, we came together before, towards the eve of the 2024. We come together and say, look, we have to find a way to usher him decorum, because on Sunday, last Sunday, I think that was about the 29th or so of December, we saw the former governor in a church, saying so many unprintable things against Governor Odili, who is old enough to be his father, who he has always called his father. Because we don't see the politics of only being loyal when you are expecting a position, or being loyal when it is expected for you to be loyal. Look, I'm a prince. I believe that loyalty should be, once a man have crossed your life and have affected your life positively, you must remain respectful to that man all your life. I'm not talking about loyalty. I don't also ask for loyalty from anybody as a politician. I'm not demanding for loyalty. Loyalty belongs to God. So what we come out to do is to come out, discuss this issue, and put up a statement that, look, it is excessive for the former governor, for the minister of the FCT, for a holder of the national honor of the commander of the Order of the Niger, to have gone too low, below patriotism, taking on the state, taking on Odili and call him names. A lot of the things he put in that comment in the church were very, very wrong. And I also call on the Christian Association of Nigeria and the PFN. Caution some churches. You don't need to allow your altar, your pulpit, to be used for political settlement. It's very wrong. The church would have stopped him in very normal society. When the church is the church, they will stop him. Look, this is the church. We are not here to settle political scores. So many of the things he said in the church were very wrong, that he built a mansion for Odili. No. Odili have lived in the house. All of us have always been with him since the Constituent Assembly as a practicing medical professional till he become deputy governor, till he become governor. The house is on Birabi Street. He has always lived in that house for so many years. So if a man could have been a governor for 8 years, which the former governor also said that after being 8 years of a governor, what is he still looking for? He's not looking for money. He's very contented. When the effort to bring him out of that house to what they call the mansion, he rejected it. He said, look, he's 70-something years old already. He doesn't need to go and live in a mansion that is being used to this house he's staying for over 30 years. And so the pressure for him to move was he a bet or like a trick to trick him to a house so that you can use it later and say you build a house for him? That is the state law. And the Governor's Pension Act was what Wike himself did while he was in office. That a former governor, they must build a house for him in Port Harcourt, they must build a house for him in Abuja, they must build a house, they do all those stuff, they put it together. Odili did not do any pension act to enrich himself as he left office in 2007. So this is a man who is self-contented. He has very high decorum. We are very pleased to be his children. We are still very happy that he's our leader. I followed Odili home some few months ago in 2004 and 2024. I discovered that he is still in that small house, that modest house. He introduced us when he wanted our support in 1998 that he wanted to run for governor. And I asked God, where have we gone wrong? See our houses, massive mansions. Why have you maintained this? He said, well, life is changing. You people like it, but him, he is very used to this house, and if he lived this small house, it looked like if part of his life is no longer the same. That is discipline. Can the former governor also say so? After being in office for 8 years? After leaving office after 8 years? I mean, how do you compare this? So we as elders have come to help the former governor. We have helped him to maintain respect, because the trend we are seeing when Odili was there to make him chairman, he was very, very loyal. When President Jonathan was there and his husband and her husband, Goodluck Jonathan, he was very loyal to them. At every point, everybody he had been loyal to when he went an office, immediately those people leave office. I'm sure you know the truth. Go and tune into what he say about Jonathan and his wife. We tune into what he say about Peter Odili and Wike. Say about anybody. There must be respect. And no matter the politics we are doing, there must be decorum. There are things you don't even say against the person who have senior you for even 1 day. Even the person you senior for 10 years, there are things you don't say in the public. So what we are trying to do now is to call the man to order and say, look, revert back to our values. Our values as Rivers people is that we have ultimate respect for our elders, for our leaders, and this kind of statement, it can cause breakdown of law and order in the state. And we don't want those statements that we can say the boys are right, because since this governor come in, Thuggery have gone. The governor is not supporting thuggery. The governor is preaching peace. The peace is doing on rivers. You also know that you are not hearing kidnapping, shooting in rivers. No, rivers is peaceful. And if the former governor is sincere to himself and patriotic, when you help to put a successor, like they say when you support a successor, you want the successor to do better than you and move the state to the next level. If you wish the state well, this governor is doing just that. The state is at the highest level now of development, highest level of peace, highest level of everything. Maturity is in the state. Everybody is sleeping well. Nightlife in Port Harcourt have bloomed. Everybody is clapping hands for the governor. The civil servants are happy, giving them bonuses, increasing their salary. Only the state in Nigeria that have started paying the 85,000 minimum wage, not only the minimum wage, he added more money. So people are happy. So anybody who is doing anything to challenge this governor is riding against the people. Look at the extreme to which people can go to stop the state from getting money. Let me tell you, Cynthia, there is something the governor did that make me go indoor and say, God, thank you for bringing a man of such high level of maturity. State allocation were stopped. They were stopped by the court, pushed by these same people who can deny their own state, their own civil servant, their own children money because of political interest, because they want to show we are in federal government. Everybody in this state were charged that if they stop the allocation of the state, every federal facility in this state, there will be lawlessness. They are going to bring down the state. The governor, hearing that, he refused to tell anybody what happened for allocation in October and in November. All the youth packed food. They go and ask the governor, we heard that they have stopped your money. The governor said, nobody have stopped our money. How do you know? We have paid our civil servants. We are paying all our contracts are working. But it was true. But he just hid that fact because he wants peace. That is maturity. If it was the former governor, of course, CNN, BBC, Arise, everybody would have been at that press conference where he would have asked the state to come down. The governor maintained that decorum.
Yes.
So we had that peace. So you can see that level of maturity.
Yeah, you're speaking about maturity right now. But all this, the fault lines actually stem from the impasse between the current governor, talking about Governor Simfubara, and his predecessor, talking about Nyesom Wike. Do you think there is any end in sight to this particular impasse? Because in a meeting that you attended on record, the governor himself actually said that and boasted that nobody or any group of persons will stop his government. And he's still holding a very high ground. And his predecessor is still insisting that he will look for a way to get the better in this particular situation. Is there going to be any end in sight, or are we going to be having this big bat up until 2027?
Now, I want to put this straight to you also, my brother. At what level do we talk of patriotism? Somebody who tried to bring down his state, somebody who tried to make sure that even money for essential services should not go to his own state. What level of greed for power is that? And he's using his current position that he is very close to the president. He is minister of the FCT. Look, minister of the FCT have a lot of job. He says he's doing well in the FCT. But what I want to ask you, at what point do you people take up your platforms to criticize activities that look like mutiny? Because if you say you are patriotic, if you say you're loyal to President Tinubu because he appointed you minister, you need to show Tinubu that you are a good representative of your state. And a good representative of state, I have been in so many governments. One of the requirements of a minister is to go home and sell federal government policies and let the people believe in the federal government. This is not, you only come home to raise tension, to make abuses which are capable of inflaming the state. The governor, if the governor was that kind of person, the former minister or the minister, the former governor would not have been able to be coming to this state freely. When we work with him, we know what he can do. You can't challenge him and come to this state. But in a situation where the governor have taken on the part of rule of law, all of you should criticize who is trying to inflame the polity. You don't need to praise him, because I see a pressman praising him. The pressman should be there. You should be there to tell the man what you are doing is capable of destroying the peace of Rivers State. If Rivers State is inflamed, nobody will sit well. Oil production will collapse. I know in 2006, our chairman petroleum, because of tension in Rivers State, Obasanjo's government almost collapsed, because before we wake up one day, there was multiple explosion on the pipelines and production dropped from 2.1 million barrels to far below 500,000 barrels. For 1 month, the government was struggling. That was when they brought all the issues. We do this, we do this, we do this. We don't need that to get to that. If the governor have mentioned or have announced that his allocation was stopped in October, I'm sorry. We wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't be speaking the same language.
Right, Senator,
so the way to stop this is to call who is defaulting, is to call the man who, to order, to tell the president, call your minister to order. The governor here is doing very, very well, exceedingly well. The people are happy. Everybody is doing well. Schools are being reopened. Hospitals are being rehabilitated. Schools are being rebuilt. So please, take to the man who wants to use the state as a platform for political aggrandizement to stop.
All right, Senator Lee Maeba, this has been a very enlightening conversation. We'd like to thank you for your time here on Newsday. Thank you for joining us.